Hello, good morning. I am Manohar from IT department. Section A. Subject is Software Project Management. Topic is IEEE standard for developing a software project lifestyle. Topic IEEE standard for developing a software project lifestyle. Introduction. A process of creating a software lifecycle process is provided, although the standard is directly, primarily at this process architect. It is useful to any organization. This is responsible for our managing and performing software projects. Keywords: software lifecycle model, software lifecycle process. IEEE standards documents are developed with the IEEE societies and the standards coordinating committees of the IEEE Standards Association, IEEE SA Standards Board. Members of the committees serve voluntarily and without members of the committees serve voluntary and without compensation. They are not necessarily members of the institute. The standards developed within IEEE represent a consensus of the board expertise on the subject within the institute as well as those activities outside. 5 that have expressed an interest in participating in the developing of standards. The standard use of an IEEE standard is only voluntary. The existence of an IEEE standard does not imply that there are no other ways to produce, test, measure, purchase, market, or provide other goods and services related to the scope of the IEEE standard. Further, the viewpoint expressed at the time standard is approved and issued subject to change brought about through developments in the state of the art and comments received from users of the standard. If every IEEE standard is subjected to review at least every 5 years for revision or reformation, when a document is more than 5 years old has not been reformed, it is reasonable to conclude that its contents, although still of some value, do not only reflect the present state of the art. Users are cautioned to check to determine that they have the latest edition of any IEEE standard. Comments for revision of IEEE standards are welcome from any interested party, regardless of membership affiliation with IEEE suggestions for changes in documents should be in the form of a proposed change of text together with appropriate supporting comments. Background. Background. This is standard of generation of the process, the governance, software development and maintenance for a project. The standard require the definition of users, software lifecycle and show mapping into typical software life cycles. It is not intended to define or imply a software life cycles of its own. The standard applies to the management and supports activities that continue throughout the entire life cycle as well as aspects of the software life cycle from concept exploration through retirement. Retirement. The utilization of these activities maximize the benefits of the user. When the use of standard is initiated early in the software life cycle, software that has processed past the initialization phase, when the standard is invoked, should be gradually moved into compliance with the standard. This standard was written for any organization that is responsible for managing and conducting software projects. It will be useful to project managers, software developers, quality assurance organizations, purchasers, users, and maintainers. It can be used where software is the total system or where software is embedded into a larger system. The standards allows for continuing harmonization with IEEE, EIA 1.0701996 and EIA IEEE standard 016-1995 and their successors. Terminology: the word shall and the imperative verb from identity the mandatory material within the standard. The word should and may identify optional materials as with the IEEE software engineering standard. The terminology in the documentation is based on IEEE standard 0610121990 IEEE standard glossary of software engineering terminology to avoid inconsistency. When the glossary is revised, the definitions are not repeated in this document. New terms and modified definitions are included. The utilization of these activities maximizes the benefits to the users when the use of this standard is initiated early in the software lifecycle. Software that has processed the past the initialization phase, when the standard is invoked, should gradually move into compliance with this standard. History: since the original publication, the standard considered considerable worldwide attention has been paid to software lifecycle process. Use of IEEE standard 10741991, IEEE standard 10749995, and other quality systems and lifecycle standards activity has been carefully considered in preparing this substantive revision of the standard. The 1995 version of the standard was a minor revision to correct specific errors found in the 1991 version. The following changes are among those that are included in the current versions. Activities are rearranged into more logical groupings called activity groups, such as placing all planning activities into new project planning activities. Activity group collecting all projects, initiating activities, and collecting and expanding all reviews activities. The term process as we used earlier version of the standard was replaced with the term activity group to identify collections of activities. Some users of the standards were misinterpreting the collection as to actual processes and were trying to execute them as such. The term activity groups should eliminate this misconception. Purpose: the standard definition the process by which an SLCP is created. It is useful to any organization that is responsible for managing and performing software projects. It can be used where software is the total system or when software is part of a larger system. The activities that are provided in Annex they cover the entire life cycle of a software project, from concept exploration through the eventual retirement of the software system. The standard does not address non-software activities such as contracting, purchasing, or hardware development. Conclusion. Test procedure for each level test of testing, unit, module, components, integration, acceptance, regression, and system shall be developed in order to refine the test approach from the evolution planned information to the item specific test procedures used for testing execution. The test procedure shall define what type of tests are to be conducted. Information of the software following in testing information from the software of further information related to the activity can be funded IEEE standard 1829 1990 B6 EEE standard of 1987 B12 IEEE standards of 1983 and IEEE standards of 1059 1993 B3. Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.